Welcome back. This is Team Lindell here. It's Monday, February 13th. Great weekend we had. Beautiful weather here in Kentucky. But we got a whole new week, man. New opportunity, new possibility. And today we're playing BTD6, our daily challenge. We've got the pumpkin Halloween-themed map. We got an interesting array of monkeys. I don't have the hero, but we'll get one of a pirate, the buccaneer, the wizard, super monkey, the potion guy, a druid, and him. And then we get an interestingly enough, which will lead to some interesting questions of like, what do we do? How do we play this game? Let's just jump right in. Because we've got the alchemist, the druid, the engineer monkey, and a monkey village. So the question becomes, we have to get to round 60, so we're going to have to be able to deal with camo. And I guess the big question is how should we go about dealing with camo? I'm beginning to wonder if we shouldn't just go ahead and use the wizard monkey on the bottom path. I mean, we don't have any real big money, so we're not going to be able to take all these guys to like super high level. But since we have so few monkeys, we should be able to move them pretty far forward down their path. So now the question is, what's going to be the most effective path for these guys? I'm thinking to start with, I'm going to take the monkey here, and we're going to put him, I'm going to try to put him in a path that's will allow him to be first in line and allow him to take on the role of stripping camo. I'm going to put him in a spot where he'll get 2 shots at the balloons as well. It'll expand out, which will be nice when he gets higher powers. But for now, I'm going to leave him right here. My goal of like the Buccaneers to probably put him on this right side away. I mean, ideally I'd put him here. We'd get stuff early, but I think this is going to be the better side for him because it'll be put him on the backside. I don't want to have to worry about getting camo on any of these, even though I do have this. Although I'll probably take him down the primary. I don't know. We'll probably end up getting radar scanner long term, and that one may never even come out. And then with our engineer, I mean, I'll probably go this route just to give us more things to attack. I can put him in the middle. And then with the alchemist, we're probably going to go top row with him. The goal will be to make everybody, better attacking somewhere in the middle. So he'll be one of the last ones placed, I believe. Okay, so let's jump into this. Get this first round going. Man. So what did everybody do this weekend, man? For me, God, what did I do this weekend? This is crazy. Busy weekend. My son, he had academic competition. His school did very well, actually, and he did well. It was districts for their elementary school academic team. My son's team, he won. They won the quick recall. It was a pretty good battle between them and Capital Day and Collins Lane. I am not need to start this. This is probably not gonna. Here's where we start bleeding some balloons. It's early rounds. I'm not too super worried about bleeding balloons, but I probably should have started with a druid. Would have been a better choice. But, you make mistakes. So I'm going to put him here, maybe? Uh-oh. No, stop. I mean, my hope is to be able to put the super monkey here. And then the engineer here and put, like, this guy here. We shouldn't lose any more balloons as we go forward. Not with him here. And then we'll probably take him down the middle path. I might have to use Druid Reach in the middle path, although that's a stronger attack. Actually, I don't really like where I placed him. I think I want to put him like more here, maybe. Man, this is... Because the top path is probably his most effective attack. I could go bottom path. This gets really expensive if I mess this up. Okay, so he can hit down here, and we'll go top path with him. I think that's going to end up being the better route. I like the middle path, but I think we'll have enough popping power that we'll be fine. And he can pop leads. Okay. Rock and roll. Yeah, my son's team, they did well. They won the quick recall. They did pretty well in testing. I mean, they're my son goes to a small school, Capital Day. It's they don't have the numbers for like to do well in all the testing events and stuff. But they finished second in districts, but they won the quick recall. My son actually finished first in the social studies test. That was unexpected, but good to see him do well there. He finished just outside the top 5 in math. He was 1 point off, finished 6th. He was really disappointed to miss by 1. I can understand that. That's a bummer. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the engineer monkey out, and I'm gonna put him like down here. He'll expand out quite a bit. I might try to move him over as far as possible to put him in the path of what? Stop. Make sure we can get him into the alchemist path, because I'm hoping I can put a super monkey here. If I can't put super monkey here, I'm gonna have problems. But they're not the end of the world problems, so it's all good. And then I'm pretty sure I can put the super monkey here. I'd really like to get him here though. It's been a long time since I've had to use a super monkey on like a board like this. And I'm gonna next monkey out though is going to be my buccaneer, my pirate. Arg. And then that took up a big chunk of my Saturday. It starts with swimming at 6 in the morning. But after swimming, I did that. We didn't get done with that until like 4 or 5. And my son had a friend come spend the night. My wife, she went out partying. She was some friends to go see some shows. I was stuck with the younglings. I wasn't stuck. It was all good. I did some stuff. Let them kind of do their own thing. And then yesterday we had the Super Bowl. I had soccer training. My son's friend didn't leave till fairly late, which was fine. They had a good time. But I didn't get anything done this weekend. I went into soccer, and then we had that horrific Super Bowl where the Chiefs won, which was really disappointing. I mean, I'm not a huge Eagles fan, but after the Chiefs kind of like were given the game against the Bengals, my son, he was very much cheering against them. So that was kind of a disappointing end of the season. My son lost, the Bengals lost, and then the Chiefs won. And the Chiefs won in just a really poor manner. I can't believe the officials inserted themselves like at the end of the game. I mean, we had a great game. KC was going down to take the lead. I mean, that was going to happen. But then there was just a really questionable call. I mean, like if they'd have called that the entire game, that game would have had like 50 or 60 penalties. It was such a kind of a ticky-tack type call, and to have the game just be over on that type of call is just, man, that's just bad officiating. I mean, you haven't called anything tight the whole game, and you're going to call something super tight at the end game like that? Absolutely brutal. I'm going to come over here and try to get as much of this path as I can. Okay, so now we got him. We should be pretty good now. I mean, we got time to bring the Super Monkey in. I really haven't upgraded him. I will need to upgrade him to this so that we can break leads when they start coming here in a little bit. But I'm feeling pretty good about our position on this. I mean, the real question is, can we get to like level 100 with just these few pieces? You know, I think we might be able to. It's going to be close. I don't. We're gonna have a hard time. I guess with the Super Monkey, if I get him strong enough, I think we'll be able to handle the black BDTs. That's gonna be the real issue. And, you know, the other thing is gonna be able to handle like the large number of balloons when we get into the 60s rounds that come rolling through. Although, like, I mean, a lot of it just depends on how advanced I can get some of these guys by then. Like this guy, we're gonna go Fireball. I probably should have Wall of Fire with him too. And then we're going to need to go the bottom route because right now I have nobody that can hit camo. That's a bit of a problem. I probably should have made sure I had that before. before we got too long down this road. But we're handling this pretty straightforward. Good times. What else has been happening, man? My car, you don't know, I'm got a Honda Civic coming. It is been released to the dealership. No idea really what that means. I think it means that it's on kind of final pass. It's on the truck on its way to the dealership. So hopefully that'll show up this week. We got a lot of things going on. Should be a really fun week. Boom, boom. Come on, Wizard Monkey. Okay. Like, nobody's really super strong right now. I really need to get him Monkey Sense, though, before the camos make it. We're going to go another round. Okay. We need more money. Oh, not paying attention. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, you're not making. None shall pass. Be gone with your attempts to get by me. So now the question becomes, what do we upgrade next? Like, I'd probably get this guy to like larger service area so he can hit more stuff. And I need to start thinking about, like, I just need to get these guys a little bit stronger. Like, I'm going to go ahead and use Sentry Gun. Get some more people attacking. Like, this guy probably needs to be upgraded a little bit. I don't want to spend any, like, big money yet. But I do need to get some of these guys just off the ground so that we can ensure survival, and then we can work our way towards the Super Monkey. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is Catherine Howard. Catherine Howard is one of Henry VII's wife. It's his fifth wife. Today, in February 13th, in the year 1542, Henry had her executed. Henry VIII had her executed. And so we're going to tell her story. She had an interesting story, so, to say the least. Made some mistakes, found some bad enemies, and ultimately paid the price for finding herself a little too far along in the the lanes of power. So Catherine Howard was in the family line of the Duke of Norfolk at the time. You know, her mother died when she was 4 years old. Her father kind of married a few more times, and she ended up in the Dowager Duchess's household at a young age. Let's see, what do we got going on here? Where she was pretty much groomed by one of her teachers, Henry Mannix. And the reason we have to say kind of groomed is because he was interested in her, and she was, what, 12, 13, 14 at the time? Not really an age that you would expect someone to, be able to take a relationship seriously. He was basically taking advantage of her. Eventually, she was able to kind of say, hey, no more. She moved to the Duchess's household, where she ended up falling in love, early love with Drexham. Or, no, it's Dereham. Not Drexham, Dereham, who was he was kind of the I'm trying to think of what would be the best way to say his role within her household. He was a secretary, so he was kind of that's probably the best term for it. He was a secretary for them. He, had it, and they formed basically a secret relationship, let's say. And he actually kind of granted her powers. They thought they were husband and wife, so he let her kind of manage stuff in their household. Let's see, which pouch should we go? I'm gonna go with Hot Shot. Again, more ability to hit them. We'll do Double Shot, and then we're gonna wait on the Super Monkey. The Duchess finally found out about it and pretty much put a halt to it. My guess is then the Duchess was like, hey, Duke of Norfolk, can we help me out here? Before she ends up getting into any greater trouble. And the Duke of Norfolk eventually found her a place in the court within, actually, interestingly enough, King Henry's fourth wife, Anne of Cleves. Obviously, she was attractive, having acquired the attention of men at such a young age. And apparently she was very vivacious, very fun-loving person. And unsurprisingly, caught the eye of Henry VIII, who already was on his fourth wife. So he very much was not one to stay with any one particular lass for any length of time. And basically, Catherine became his next conquest, or his next short attention span, his next center of his affection, so to speak. So even though she was at court for a fairly short amount of time, like I said, the king became entranced by her, gave her land, expensive gifts, and basically kind of just fell in love with her. He ended up divorcing his fourth wife, unsurprisingly, and they ended up getting married on July 28th in 1540. the day that Cromwell, his rival, was executed. Their marriage was kind of kept secret for a little while. It wasn't until probably 2 or 3 months later before they became kind of known that they were married to the court. But really, at the end of the day, Henry VIII was in his 40s. She was in her early teens. Needless to say, she found the interest of another man, one of the king's. What would they be? He'd be the. What was he? He was one of the courtiers of the king. He caught her eye. We're just kind of handling our business here. Run around 32. Getting close to the Super Monkey. Nothing's really getting through for us. And they kind of fell in love and they kind of had a fling. The problem was, you're the queen. The king's gonna have enemies. The kings are you've moved up to pretty much the top of. Come on, fit in here. Oh yes, please. Oh man. So okay, if we go this route with him, I can go the middle path, which should be able to encompass a ton of real estate here. And here comes one of my problems. Looks like I might be bleeding a few. Yes, we will be bleeding. Hopefully not enough to eliminate me. But we're definitely... Oh my goodness. Did I make a mistake? I probably shouldn't have brought the Super Monkey out. Is this going to cost me? I don't think so. There's not enough points here. Not enough hearts. But this is definitely a shot across my bow to pay a little more attention. Okay, so I need to get 1,600. I don't think there's any more. It's going to be a few more rounds before we see another set of camos. Fortunately, the damage was not great. I've still got plenty of hearts left. Sitting here trying to talk about Catherine. So people began to find out about their relationship. They began to kind of blackmail her, especially allies of Cromwell, who were more than happy to see the king in some discomfort and such. And as such, they were able to interrogate members of the family, and of course, by interrogation, I mean threaten, torture, and other means. And as such, you know, people began to see this as a sinking ship, and they kind of told on her. They also found out about Durham, and as such, if there was any pre-contact, any relationships, then the marriage to the king would have been null and he could have divorced her. Catherine, she was pretty much stripped of her title at this point. While Culpeper, who was the guy she was having the affair with, and Durham himself were, here come the camos, do the work. There we go. Everybody can see we got a flame wall there, which is nice. Okay, now we need to start thinking about upgrading more stuff. Like him, Heart of Vengeance, we can afford that. Stuff's coming through. Nothing's really getting through. We're still pretty early rounds. Like I could upgrade him at 3,000. That's a pretty powerful move. I think super range might be my next play here. Well, I do want to bring him out. Let's get him out here. Put him in position to help all my other two monkeys out here. Culpepper, he was beheaded for his part in all of this, for his affair with her. You know, he should have known better. I mean, he's around the king's thing, but I get it. I mean, stuff happens. The guy who got really kind of boned in all this was Darahim. You know, I mean, they had their kind of thing before she even met the king. He had no idea what was going to happen. But this poor guy, he was hanged, and then he was drawn and quartered. If you don't know what drawn and quartered is, that is... Oh, is that not going to be long enough? I got one more. Epic range. That is when they take you and tie your one arm to one horse, another arm to another horse, a leg to a horse, and another leg to another horse, and the horses take off in different directions. That is really brutal. I really feel bad for that guy. I mean, he really had no way of knowing that she would end up marrying the king. Okay, we get him up to full distance so he can do his work, because we're about ready to head into round 40, which is always kind of the... Go ahead and get them going a little bit here. Faster throwing. Okay, here we go. We're coming up on round 40. Now this is where we begin to... I'm hoping the Super Monkey can get us the win here. Because, like, he's not going to do enough damage. I mean, we'll get some damage over here, but yeah, there's Super Monkey doing his work. I kind of bet on the Super Monkey here to help us with this DDT, and it worked. And now hopefully we can take out what's remaining. Yeah, we're in good shape now. Go ahead and up him. And then we're going to start looking at some of these other guys here. Yeah, my only concern is him stripping all the the balloons. I think he'll be able to. Especially when we come back through here. At least that's my hope, so that we don't run into any problems. You know, I mean, I'm kind of wondering now if I shouldn't have put him more down here. Yeah, I could still move him. I do get money for him. Let's go do that. Let's move him back here into more advantageous, because there's nothing's really attacking that early. I mean, it's going to cost me some money. I get it. But I'd rather have the better coverage. Yeah, let's go that route. Because he's not going to get it until down here. I probably could have moved him even further down. I hate to just throw money away like this, but... Uh-oh, uh-oh. This is a problem. Okay. Okay, good. We stripped everything. That was such a huge mistake by me. It was almost very costly. Fortunately, we got the work done. Okay, now I've got like this whole path here, and I've got this path to strip camo. I'm feeling a little bit better about that. Now I can start upgrading some of these guys. Like, I want to get him up a little higher. This is the next guy. We want to add on to his abilities. This guy we want to add on to his abilities as well. So now we kind of play the waiting game. We're looking for money. I think we're pretty safe up to round 60 at this point. Go ahead and speed up some things a little bit here because there's not a lot we can do. I could bring him out as kind of a safety precaution. Can I get him in here somewhere? I mean, if I could drop it like here, or I could drop it here. And use this as a way. I mean, really he's more useful kind of up here. I'm going to wait on him. I'd much rather like upgrade some of these guys' capabilities. Okay, here come the camos. Wow. Maybe we should drop in. So I'll put him here. Hopefully he'll be long enough if I expand the radius here. Okay, so those two are under his protection. So now my goal would be to end this guy. Okay, so we definitely want to get him up to radar scanner. That way we don't have to worry about camos. Like, because we're stripping it pretty well, but like those got through. I mean, hopefully they'll get... Yeah, they're stripped there. There we go, we're stripping camo, dead. Okay, now I've got scanner. So now these three guys, who are my primary attackers, all have the ability to see camo. So at this point, I feel pretty good about surviving camo attacks. Now it's more about getting these guys strong enough. And I guess I should probably try to get some laser guys going here. Like this guy I would like to make stronger as well. He's going to be next on the list. No, we get plasma blast next, and then we'll get upgrade this guy to destroyer. Round 50. Oh. Easy. Working these guys over. We get him to destroyer, so now he'll have better capabilities. Aircraft carrier would be nice as well. Druid Storm is probably my next play. Sentry Expert would be a good play. So now I'm going to need to start getting these guys up to the point where they can, like this guy, I'm going to need him up to the next level, especially once I start getting to round 6 and we start getting a ton of balloons. He will be very handy at popping them. Of course, this makes me wonder now if I should have gone a different path with him. It makes me wonder if I shouldn't have like gone a fire path with him. You know, used him early and then replaced him and put him over here with more of a fire path. Where I think he'd be stronger. Although this is not a bad power. Expert. Let's see if we can get stronger stimulant. Should pretty much max this guy out because there's no way. His next level is like 60, which is like crazy. Stronger stimulant. Ball of lightning, 34, 8,000, 7,000. So now we're kind of getting to the point where we really don't have a lot of upgrades that are easy to get. Now we gotta like wait until we get more money. Looks like level 60 is going to be no worries. Let's go. Oh, here come a bunch of Strip them of their ability. Here we go. Round 60. Can we get victory? I don't have enough for him. Let's go ahead and... Oh, we did some fire damage from a distance. Here we go. The attack on the red balloon. Can we overcome it? And there comes my super monkey doing some work. And my super monkey doing a lot of work. And there's my super monkey, just absolutely. Now everybody else is getting into the game. Good work by this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get him to victory. It's ours! Woo! The monkey star was our super monkey. Unsurprisingly, we popped. Nice. Okay, so we made some money off this. We're gonna head into free play. I'm excited because now we've got an aircraft carrier. Now he can do, the plane can do damage throughout the map. Times were held here. But Catherine, they didn't really know what to do with her, and she kind of remained kind of in limbo until January of 42. Which a bill of attainder was introduced to Parliament, which actually passed on February 7th, which was the Royal Assent by Commission Act, which made it treasonous and punishable by death for a queen to consort to fail to disclose her sexual history to the king within 20 days of their marriage, or to incite someone to commit adultery with her. Of course, this law was retroactively imposed because they didn't really have any legal way of getting rid of the queen. And this measure pretty much retroactively solved the matter of Catherine's pre-contract and made her unequivocally guilty, because they were pretty sure that, you know, the Durham guy had some type of contact beforehand. Nothing like, you know, using the legal system to solve messy marital problems. So yeah, Catherine kind of got the raw deal of this. I mean, here she is. She's a young girl. Doesn't really, you know, relatively inexperienced. I mean, yeah, she knew little things about court. But I'm not sure she really knew. Here we go, 63. This is the one board I was kind of worried about because so many balloons come through. But it looks like we're handling it without too much aplomb. I guess we'll go ahead and get Lightning Ball next. Moving him up to the end. Lightning Ball, that'll allow us to do more damage. And now we kind of like wait for more XP. 8,600, I can get Robo Monkey. We're gonna go down that road. The Lords of Council came and got her on February 10th. Apparently she panicked and screamed as they manhandled her onto the barge to escort her to the tower, where she passed under the London Bridge, where the heads of Culpeper and Durham were impaled. That's crazy, you know. Their heads actually remained there for another 4 years after that. That's some wild stuff, man. Times were definitely different back then. The next day, the bill of attainder was received for our execution at 7 a.m. Monday, February 1542. Supposedly the night before her execution, she was spent practicing, I guess, laying her head on the chopping block. I guess that's one way to spend your final night. I guess her thought was she wanted to kind of go out as a queen and have that be a composed. I mean, mean, I don't know what else you do. I mean, I can't imagine sitting there waiting to be beheaded. That seems so horrific. Just thinking about that. And I guess she wanted to go out, you know, with composure and known for facing it bravely. Which, I mean, you know, kudos to her. That's impressive. But apparently she had the chopping block brought into her place the night before so she could practice laying her head down on it. That's, I don't know, that's just crazy to me. Apparently she, you know, she showed up, she was pale but very well composed. I mean, I would look pale and terrified as well. I don't blame her at all for that, but she was composed, and you know, she, you know, admitted her guilt and asked for forgiveness and the things you're expected to do before you're executed. And you know, I guess went out in a way that was befitting someone of her station. Which, I mean, that's again kind of this whole thing is to me kind of crazy, because it seems like it's kind of crazy, you know, because she was what? How old was she when she died? So she was born in 24 and died at 42. Wow, so she was 18 years old when she died. I'm sure there was a lot of naivete there, but at the same time, you have to know where you are, and she wooed the king, I'm sure, as much as the king fell for her. So, you know, she found herself in a place of power. She became intoxicated by it. She was able to get the eye of the king, and then I'm sure totally use that to gain herself power. I imagine, you know, just from what little I know, she probably wanted the title and all the glory and everything else that came with the title. And she didn't really, I'm not sure she really probably understood everything that was, all the ramifications that came along with it. And I think that's probably what tripped her up. And that just, in being in the moment of time, I mean, this was a tumultuous time. You had Cromwell was trying to seize power, so you had a king who was dealing with the pain of an ulcer. It was older. Just, you had a lot of things going on, and so to some extent she was a victim of the time. At the same time, I mean, you know, she did put herself on that position, and you know, she, like everything else in life, you are free to do whatever you want, but you are not free to choose the consequences of your actions. And at the end of the day, she ended up paying for her own consequences, even if it was probably a little bit over the top. Like nowadays, if stuff like this had happened, you just had divorce and everybody would have moved on. But you know, kings just can't divorce people, and you can't just have a queen sitting out there like anything else. The problem becomes, like, if you let her live and go about her life, you know, now all of a sudden she potentially has some claim to the throne. Some other gentleman could marry her, could gain a claim to the throne. You know, the politics of the time and the nature of being a king kind of pretty much, let's go ahead and tech terror, called for that decision to be made. Doesn't make it any less crazy. Upgrade that one, give everybody a little more attacking speed. Now the question is, what do we wait for next? 30,000 for that, 28 for that, 27 for that. The answer is probably this one. I think he would be a little bit better. I don't know if we'll get that far. We have made it through level 79. We're going into 80. I don't think the green one will give us any issues either. We are doing some work with our aircraft carrier and all the little planes we have flying around. This one's not going to make it to the bottom. The question is how far with the red. No, man, it didn't make it. Our super monkey's doing some work here, guys. Doing some work. Dang. Okay, at this point, there's no sense in just doing each round. Because, I mean, the money, I guess what the next one's at 28,000, so I've got to wait till 28,000 before I can get it. So we should just roll this through. I wonder how far we can get. Whew. Just brutalization. 90 will be the next real challenge to see how strong we are. You know, by then he's going to be able to be upgraded. Like if I could get him to 70,000, that would be. We'd do some work, but I don't think that's going to happen. Not without farms. I mean, this is where farms come in to be able to hit some of these, to move these guys forward enough power. Because like 70, you know, spending it on him would be better than spending 70,000 or whatever, 97,000 on an anti-balloon. Prince of Darkness, okay. This probably guaranteed. I didn't think I could get him out in 2. I think level 100 will be obtainable now. Because I think with him, we should be able to handle the black DETs. Interesting. Ugh. Yeah. The other thing is, right now, man, getting ready for soccer season. We're starting to plan out my season. We're starting to get schedules built. Of course, like, you know, scheduling can't go easy for someone like me. The my soccer club and the KSSL, the league we play in, there was some communication somewhere along the way. The wrong name was given as the administrator and coach. As such, I didn't get the information for scheduling for like 4 or 5 days after scheduling opened up. There's good and bad associated with that. The good is I found out my son's schedule because I know who schedules his games. And I can schedule around most of his games. And I also, at the same time though, we share some field space, and because refs are kind of limited, I have to avoid the other team's games. As such, my limits on what I could do from a scheduling standpoint were very limited, and we got some bad scheduling going on here. Like Derby Day, I got a game, which in and of itself isn't bad. But, yeah. Being from Louisville, that seems like a sin, because you'll never be able to schedule a Louisville team on Derby Day. It's just not going to happen. But outside of Louisville, while Derby is seen as kind of a Kentucky event, it's not really quite the event that it is on other days. So I have a game scheduled on Derby Day, which I was kind of hoping to avoid. But again, I got late to the scheduling game. I couldn't make good decisions, and I was kind of limited, especially the team we're playing. They are very limited on when they can play games. Here we go, 93, easy peasy. So these are going to be able to handle it. 95 is going to be the next real challenging stage. I wonder if I should upgrade him or him. I might upgrade this guy. Here we go, 94. Stuff's starting to kind of get through a little bit. I haven't even used my superpower. Let's let things get in range and we'll use our superpower. Come on. Everything get in range here. Superpower. Look at that, man. That was awesome. So I'm going to wait on this guy. Here we go, back end of 95. This will be all easy peasy. Nothing's gonna get through this. Question is, will I get enough money to upgrade this guy to Sentry Champion? Which I think is gonna be a good bid, because I mean he covers more space than this guy does. Well, this guy being up another level will be pretty nice as well. Okay, here come 95. Here's the real question. Can we handle all these? And it kind of looks like we can. Maybe. I do have my superpower again. Nothing's really getting through to this point. So I feel pretty good. Yeah, the blacks aren't making it far enough. We're doing some work here. And that's a wrap on that. That's the one that really, you know, is the board that's going to find out whether or not you can go ahead and upgrade him. Now we're dropping better attack weapons. Yeah, now we're attacking more laser weapons down. So now we're able to do a lot more damage. How much work is he doing? He's doing some serious work. I'm dropping multiple of these guys down now. They're both doing work. Now, yeah, see, now I got a bunch of them. It's always tough with this guy, because you could always go bottom path with him, which is pretty effective as well. So now we're waiting to see if we get close to level 100. I don't think I can get him to 27,000 before then. But I am interested to see if we can defeat the purple one, because this is going to be probably our biggest problem is we have so few troops and we're all concentrated in one spot. It might be a little challenge to take out that purple one. But I don't know, we've got quite a few weapons here. And we're doing some pretty good work. I mean, for me the question is can I get this guy upgraded before we get eliminated? Because he's the only one I'm going to be able to upgrade before we get eliminated. Because I can't imagine we make it much past like 104, 105, that range. And we got good stuff here. These champion sentries do some pretty good work for us. Well, we might get to 27. We're level 98. We'll get 9. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and slow this down a little bit because we're getting close to level 100. Go ahead and set my superpower in case something wants to get through. Nothing's getting through, man. We're just dominating. Here we go. Level 100. I do not have enough for him. Here comes the purple. We're able to do some shots on him early. Our planes are working him. He's completely unaffected by it. But we should end up... Here we go. We're doing some work now on him. With our Lich. With our Prince of Darkness. Sentry Champion. And then, of course, our Tech Terror. The question is the Tech Terror going to get him? Because if the Tech Terror can get him, then we can use the superpower later. Purple's starting to get hit. He is a long way from being finished, but we're just now kind of partially. Okay, I'm feeling better. We're doing some more damage. See if we can get another round of damage on him. Oh yeah, yeah, he's in trouble. He is in deep doo-doo. He's still got to come all the way through. No way he makes it. Victory is ours. Victory is ours. I guess the question is, does he get... Do I have to use my superpower? Because we're... You know, because the greens are going to pop out. The question is, are we going to be able to beat these greens? Yeah. Dead. Yeah. think we're pretty good. We're starting to do some work on these greens. I hate to throw this away though by thinking I got this. Oh yeah, we're good. Insta-Monkey 202, nice. Still don't have enough to upgrade him. We will get that here probably shortly if we survive 101, 102. Slow us down for a second. This is getting a little bit further than I like. Flagship carrier, let's go. You know, we're holding our own though. It would have been nice if we'd have gotten the hero. We probably could have maybe made it a few more rounds. We probably wouldn't have lost any of these hearts there at the beginning either, because he would have been the first one we pulled out. Feel pretty good now. We got better planes flying through, shooting more missiles. Yeah, we're doing some work here. Dead. 103. This is actually surprising. I think 105 will probably be about the limit of what we can do. Maybe if we use our superpowers. Maybe when he comes down here. Come on. Superpower? Yeah, we did some work there. Most of our work's done on this backside over here. You know, the big problem is like this guy. If I get more money, maybe I sell him and go middle path, because I can probably get him up to middle path. But I mean, I would have to get up to 40,000. I don't think we'll get that far. I'm going to go ahead and use my superpower. No? No? Oh. Should use my superpower. I could have gotten maybe to 105. That's about as far as I thought I could go with this set of monkeys. Solid work. Who did the most work for me? This guy did 914. This guy barely beat him out for the top. Like, this guy didn't do anything. He's the alchemist. 195, okay. 440, okay. 488, okay. You know, maybe I should have put more money in the monkey buccaneer for this guy. I don't know. They both were about the same. This was my most effective troop, my least effective, mainly because I couldn't upgrade him far enough. You know, maybe if I could have gone middle path with him, I don't know. And then the super monkey obviously did some good work. My monkey village helped. Yeah, it was a good match. It was a good game. Good times. Okay, well, unfortunately, this is a busy week for me, so I'm going to have to wrap up a little earlier than I'd like today. But that's okay. We played, we dominated, we won. It was a lot of fun. And if you've enjoyed this, hit the like button if you want to see more content like this. If you want to see, you know, more BTD6, more talk on just different history topics, man, that's what we're really here for. We're here to kind of play games and talk about, you know, life, talk about history, talk about fun stuff, man. That's what we're here for. So go ahead, subscribe, and as always, have a great day if you want to.